We begin with a developing story. 9 people were shot, 2 fatally, when gunmen opened a fire during a funeral at a church in East Kingston this afternoon. It's reported that shortly after 3 o'clock, mourners were at the King's Chapel Church on Windward Road when 3 armed men arrived in a car and opened fire. People gathered outside the Kingston Public Hospital this afternoon as news spread that a funeral service at King's Chapel had been shot up. Men armed with guns drove up, came out of their vehicle and opened fire on persons standing in the churchyard. Those shot were taken to the Kingston Public Hospital. 9 of them. KPH CEO Errol Green said 2 of the 9 were dead on arrival. The others are being treated.
Senior medical officer, she pushed in immediately our emergency procedures. We opened 4 additional theaters. She called out additional doctors, and matron has called out additional nurses and specialist nurses to deal with the situation. The situation here was pretty much pandemonium at the time, because our understanding is that the victims were actually from this community. They were shot in another community in the corporate area, and they rushed here. So you can understand the excitement of the relatives and the loved ones who descended on the hospital to see what was going on.
So what's the condition of those injured?
We are not able to give that information at this time, but as Mr. Green said, we'll be able to give updates. Right now we are focused on saving lives. We engaged other stakeholders and other partners, so the emergency lab services, the National Blunt Bag and Transfusion Services. We had to mobilize additional spaces just in case we need patients to be admitted to our intensive care unit. We had to stop for a short while our services that were taking place in the ambulatory section of the emergency room so that the team could focus on the patients who were critically ill.
We understand that a man believed to be one of the suspects in the attack was held and severely beaten by residents of West Street. He's now in hospital under police guard. TVJ News also understands that the funeral was being held for Romaine White, a resident of Matthews Lane in West Kingston. Mr. White was fatally stabbed in downtown Kingston on November 29. Investigators are searching for suspects in his killing.